Hello and welcome to this After Effects certification preparation series of videos. I'm Luisa Winters. In this video, I want to cover Objective 4.2a, which is to create text in a composition. So we're going to talk about point text and paragraph text. We're going to talk about adding text to a path. All right, so here we go. Let's get us started. Here in After Effects, go ahead and create a new composition. So Control or Command N, and there you go. And now let's go ahead and type some text. To do that, grab the Type tool, which is this guy. If you click and hold on that tool, you're going to see two tools, the horizontal type tool and the vertical type tool. I'm not going to go over the vertical. Well, actually, okay, so you can type vertical, whatever, right? Yeah, I know, right? So I'm going to undo that. And instead, I want to type horizontal. Now, in Adobe World and other apps, right, you can have two types of text. You can have point text, which means you simply click and type, right? Click and type. That's point text. If you then change the scale of this, see it, you are changing the scale of the type, right? All right. Now, you can also have paragraph text, which means you click and drag a text box and you type inside the box. And you can resize the box. The text behavior is going to be slightly different, as you can clearly see, depending on whether you have paragraph text or you have point text. So keep those things in mind. And usually, not always, but usually, if I have a designer in my class that is doing text, the designer will always do a text box. If I have a video editor in the class, that video editor is just going to click and type. So, the difference is really the behavior of the text as you're typing. So which one is better? I sure don't know. Sometimes I use one and sometimes I use the other one. So it makes no difference to me. But if you're a designer, I'm sure you're thinking to yourself right now, oh, that is preposterous. It needs to be a text box. You know what? Go for it. Make it a text box. All right, so let's continue. So you can have point text, you can have paragraph text, you can also have text on a path. But this is the thing. If you are used to Photoshop or Illustrator for that matter, you already know that to have text on a path, you have to have the path first. In After Effects, it doesn't work like that. Because if you start drawing the path, with the pen tool, with whatever of these, you are creating a shape layer. So you need to have the layer first. All right? You need to have the text first. Then you can have the path. So I'm just going to type. I'm going to use point text. Don't hate me. I'm going to use point text. I'm going to use text on a path, right? I'm going to double click this layer and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so that we can see it. We're going to talk about those settings a little bit later, actually in the next movie. And now that I have the layer, I can have my path. And I know a path is a mask is a path, but not really, because a path doesn't quite create transparency, but a mask does. So let's create a mask, which is a path, which is a mask, which is whatever, right? So I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to do a perfect circle, and there you have it, right? I am masking it. Yeah, but it's okay, because what we want is text on a path. So here we go. Expand text in the timeline, expand path options, and do you see where it says path and then none? Click on that drop down and choose the one and only mask that you have. Boom! There you go. Text on a path. And it doesn't have to be a mask like that. By the way, look at the transparency of the mask. Immediately turns to none. All right, so that's done automatically. And it doesn't have to be a circle. It could just be anything that you create. It could be a star, could be anything at all. So we already have talked about that. I'm not going to go over that again, but it could be anything, right? So there are these things that come with now that we have text on a path. Reverse path, I can turn that on or off. I'm thinking that's pretty self-explanatory. Inside of the path, outside, inside, outside, right? I'm going to leave it off. Perpendicular. Is each and every character going to be perpendicular to the path, which is what it is now, or not? Ooh, that's crazy. So I'm going to turn it on. Force alignment. Boom. Yeah, I'm going to shut that off too. First margin. Oh, I know what I am animating. I know, right? Pretty cool. But look what happens to the last margin. It's doing nothing. Nothing. Know this. The reason why these are doing nothing is because there is no such thing as a first margin. That doesn't exist. I mean, a first margin, first, as opposed to second, third, fourth, yeah, they don't exist. There's not a first one or a last one. There's only a right one and a left one. Let me put it to you this way. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'll do, this is my text, right? And now I'm going to draw a mask like yay, right? So same thing, right? Text, path options, choose mask 1, right? Look at the first margin, which is really the left margin, right? I can animate that, and then my text is just going to go woo, right? There you go. So I'm going to undo that. Same thing, the last margin is not working. The reason for that has to do with the paragraph setting. If we are left aligned, then only the left margin works, which After Effects calls first margin. So there is no first margin, there's only a left margin. So if I have this right aligned, then the last margin works and the first one doesn't. Because there is no such thing as first and last, there's only left and right. I'm just saying, right? If this is center aligned, they both work. Boom, 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 boom. If force alignment is turned on, they both work. And I can just squish them all together. I can now keyframe these here and then separate them like yay and like yay. And now I can have animation like that, right? So one of the first things that I want you to remember in After Effects is that After Effects likes to use words like first and last and beginning and end, that sort of thing. Don't think of it as first and last or beginning and end. Think of it as left and right or anything else that would help you remember how to keyframe these things. All right? So we have talked about point text, paragraph text, and of course, text on a path. And this brings me to the end of this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.